Hello everyone and welcome to my virtual presentation Visual Aesthetic of National Identity, a comparative study of fashion photography in Italian and Russian Vogue magazine. Magazines can be seen as a voice of the fashion industry. In addition to the surface level of brand advertisements and industry information, there are cultural objects that reflect the cultural spirit both visually and textually. The current research is based on fashion studies where creativity has always played the major role. The purpose of Based on the research purpose, we developed several questions that would guide the current research. How is the idea of national expressed by Vogue Italia and Vogue Russia magazines? And how do the various editions of Vogue reflect the cultural diversity of Italy and Russia? The novelty of the research can be characterized by several aspects. First of all, it is a research status. The question of identity was researched by multiple Italian and Russian scholars, but it still has some gaps due to difficulties in analyzing the literature. Both sources in Italian and Russian have been used in the current research. Of course, a huge role plays also localization and its adaptation on a particular market. The methodology implemented into the research comprises the following tools: a visual analysis and a content analysis, and later we decided also to add experts interviews. Visual analysis as a method is characterized in the way that a visual object as a photo constitutes the source of data which can be used to make a further interpretation of the society. This means that you are able to make a social analysis with help of photos. Fashion photography becomes a reflection to our time and mediates generally a dream world to a viewer. We can refer to fashion photography as essential to understand fashion during the time the photo was taken. The approach that has been applied in order to analyze the photographs is through semiotic perspective, which is the basic model for all photo analysis. The photo is viewed for its content and is decoded by the viewer to make meaning. A content analysis shows that photos can be considered as data in empirical research and can be a good way to gain knowledge about the world. Visual expressions that will be analyzed when viewing Vogue issues are clothes, color, and context. The study is limited to the Vogue Italia magazines issued in 1965, 1988, 2008 and 2018, and Vogue Russia issued in 1998, 2008, 2019 and recently issued ones. During the research, several interviews were taken both from Russian and Italian Vogue. Unfortunately, due to restrictions of Corona time, we were not able to gather more, but hopefully we will have this opportunity in the future. The results of content analysis demonstrated that the content reviewed in the chosen issues had a strong local orientation. Most of the reportages in Vogue Italia reflected various clothing and styles. Most common was Italian style with influence from other cultures. The color varied a lot and there were no distinctive colors that were used more or less. The reportage's context featured strong Italian women, highlighted other cultural expressions, and the models had different appearances but basically were wearing the Italian fashion brands. Same happened in Russian Vogue. Given the fact that Russian Vogue was launched only in 1998, since the beginning the context was strongly adapted to the Russian market. For instance, many Russian brands became a big part of Russian Vogue and the influence of other cultures was minimized. The interesting moment of the research showed also a big interaction between Italian and Russian Vogue. For instance, it was revealed that the color pattern chosen for a particular issue of the Italian Vogue was repeatedly used also in Russian Vogue magazine. Similar was seen, obviously, in multiple advertising campaigns. Despite the fact that big data source was analyzed, the research is still in progress. The further research development can be focused on comparative analysis of localization strategies in both Vogue Italia and Vogue Russia. The specific of content and localization factors will be analyzed, and of course, other interviews will be performed in terms to help to identify the direct and hidden localization practices that will lead us to a successful publication at the end. Thank you very much for your attention.